Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to a post-WrestleMania Squared Circle Society. I am Daniel Shine, joined as always by Todd Loya, Pug Dread, and Ozzy V. Gentlemen,
and by the way, Ozzy V, I'm sorry to put this, I have to let you know ahead of time, I'm calling in from the Nether Realm. I don't know where the fuck I am, but a lot of stuff's weird going on right now, but I called in because I somehow have a phone in my hand in this weird Nether Realm. I don't know what's going on.
Well, are we gonna have a match? Are we gonna have a match with Ozzy Hellbound?
Everybody wanted to come at me at once. Y'all couldn't do it. Y'all talked over
Ozzy, motherfucker!
Drop. Yeah. What the fuck?
What's up, Ozzy? How you doing? In the Netherlands.
I just think it's messed up Dan introduced you last.
Yeah, you know.
Isn't that the main event, though?
That too.
Wow.
Fair point.
Stroke his ego.
Oh. Before I shit on him, sure.
All right.
So how are you guys? WrestleMania literally just ended. So, yeah, we're doing both nights in
Sounds
one.
like Dan's calling from the netherworld. Dan, we don't have time for all the... It sounds like you're calling from the netherworld. We don't have time for pleasantries. Let's just get into it.
And by the way, in the nether realm, no hats are allowed, so you'd be screwed.
The hat is timeless in any day.
Abandon all hats. Ye who exit here.
There's no way I'm losing my hat, so tough shit. All right, so yes, Pugs, you're on Squared Circle Society again.
Howdy. You know what? I'm gonna skip around, or at least I'll start where I like the most. What I like the most, and that was the Firefly Funhouse. But we can get to it when we get there. But that was awesome.
Yeah.
Are we jumping, or are we doing night one first?
Yeah. No, we're just jumping around wherever the hell we do. I think that the two matches that we want to talk about the most are going to be the. Okay, let's
the
go
main
with
movie.
This.
The non-wrestling matches.
Pretty much.
The most entertaining. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
so, Ozzy,
what do you want to do first?
Well, I was going to throw it to Ozzy since he needs his ego stroked today. So, what do you want to do first, Ozzy?
I don't need it, but I'll take it. Listen. It was entertaining television. It wasn't wrestling. Like TV, it was. You know, now I'm still in kind of not necessarily shock, but just more of trying to figure out a way to properly give an adequate analogy to how it really feels. Yeah.
It was sports entertainment.
I don't know what was sport about it.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's the difference between that and any of the other pre-taped shit we watched?
No. But to your point about it being sports entertainment, and my argument is that it was more entertainment, maybe like 15% sports because the figures involved came from an avenue attempting to mimic sport, when really this was just a conflict between two people fighting. It was... I can't remember the name of it right now, but I remember like when I was like 10 years old, they used to film this thing at Universal Studios Florida where it was like martial artists and like some of the guys from the Mortal Kombat movies.
MAC Masters.
Yeah. Like that wasn't like I couldn't watch that and legitimately say, oh, these guys are really fighting. Like, no, it was athleticism and you know what they were doing for that. Come on, like having a fight in the earthquake set from the back lot, you know. It was entertainment, but there's nothing about it was sport because you couldn't have a legitimate competition between the two individuals involved because one of the individuals has a supernatural power. And if an individual has a supernatural power, they should be disqualified from said competition because it's an unfair advantage.
Then what about the Undertaker?
I don't hate it. Excuse me?
Undertaker.
What about it?
He has a supernatural power. Same with Kane.
When it happens in the ring, and it's like without the use of even light, like Undertaker sitting up after taking somebody's finishing maneuver, that is like an adequate use of like, oh, this guy's from another world. But
what about the lightning? Or Kane making fire shoot?
That should actually be a disqualification.
Okay.
And did that ever happen in a match?
Kane doing fire, yes. Lightning, yes. Let's not forget which thing.
Have, apparently.
He shot China, or he shoot the fireball.
Yeah.
Usually those
and it wasn't considered a disqualification.
So.
No.
Those were usually segments. I mean, he might have done it at the close.
No, he's done it in the ring.
He might have done it in the ring. Yeah. I don't remember it happening in the middle of a match, though. Because if Kane could truly summon lightning, then he should be undefeated in Inferno matches.
No, the lightning was always in segments, but the fireball, he did shoot. I know he shot X-Pac. Want to say Vader or some big fucking guy, and no disqualification happened.
Was it the Mats versus Mats match between Vader and Kane? And then Vader was like, "I'm just a big fat piece of shit." It was so.
Yeah, that was at No Way Out. No, it was before that.
Okay, all right. Well, I just in my mind, like. While watching that's just what I was thinking. Like I felt like I was watching like a mini movie. And again, I didn't hate it. I was entertained by it. Like, you know, I dug Lucha Underground for that. I didn't, because if that's what it was. It wasn't trying to present itself like, hey, we're a wrestling show. No, they were just calling themselves Lucha Underground. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lucha mean?
Right. Come on, Ozzy. You know. Translate it for us.
It was fun as fuck. I'm with Ozzy. I thought it was fucking great.
See, I think if you use the term lucha, I think that actually helps you if you're going to do more stuff like this, because lucha wrestling has always traditionally been ridiculous. So it would make sense. Like Lucha Underground made so much sense, but you know what I mean? It's like giving it the label of lucha gives it a green pass to go into the nether realm. It's how you present it. It's how you're like. It's how you're presenting the product.
This wasn't Ring of Honor, so what are we tripping about?
First off, Undertaker's always. I mean, he's kind of the originator of this. I mean, we've seen it going back to where all the heels took him out, and then he appeared on screen in the casket. And, you know, I mean, he's really the originator of these sort of mini movie.
Those were mini movies. Those were little supernatural occurrences.
No, I know. I'm just saying it makes sense with him. But I'm going to compare these two matches since we're comparing. The Boneyard match, number one, I thought it was surprisingly great. I really was not expecting it to deliver like it did. But it was still a fight. It was a movie, but it was still, you know, a fight. And I dug the hell out of it. I mean, amazingly enough, and I wasn't necessarily sure I would feel this way, I think that came off better than what you could have seen out of Undertaker in the ring in a traditional match at this point anyways. So I am good with this stuff once in a while. Now, having said that, that was perfect. Cena seemed. I have mixed feelings. Let's just say it. At no point was that ever a fight. That was just. It went a little too long for me. I mean, I popped for Vince like I always do.
That's good shit.
I should. Yeah.
No, I popped for that hard.
But I shouldn't have. I mean, that was the culmination of a feud. I should be able to say more.
It was
about
a culmination of a feud, really?
Yes, absolutely. 6 years in the making. Well, a storyline.
I have to disagree with you just because as he had John Cena in the Sister Abigail, they had that voiceover of what John Cena said, and it was perfect. That's a perfect ending.
Yeah.
It was a perfect ending, and Fiend went over, which had to happen. Otherwise, he's dead at this point, like they did to Bray Wyatt in the first place. But I would have much preferred if they actually put in some fighting content there. It was about 75% comedy skit for me. It really was. And, I don't know. I don't hate it, but I didn't love it either. I really didn't. It was a little bit too long. And, yeah, the Boneyard match is the better example of how to do it. Just have a movie fight. But it's got to be a fight.
Did you not like the compound stuff with Matt Hardy?
I did, yes. But even that, well, number one, a lot of that was meant to be pure comedy.
And so with this. This wasn't done serious.
No, it wasn't. But, again, it should have been. That should have been an actual fight. And it would have done a lot more for Fiend to go over, to truly beat Cena. This just felt like, I don't know. Like I said, mixed feelings.
Maybe an actual match is being saved for that time when people are in the crowd.
Yeah. This was minimal.
This seemed like the end of a feud. This seemed like something's going to happen that's going to lead to them fighting at SummerSlam, I think.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, I think that'll be the first, hopefully, fingers crossed, the first proper pay-per-view back. But
oh, shit.
I don't know. Like I said, that was the one. They did a remarkable job with WrestleMania as a whole for me. It didn't feel like a traditional WrestleMania, but it did entertain me. It did, distract me, which I'm sure everybody needs right now. But that one, that match, I don't know. It still didn't quite do it for me. But Fiend went over, so at least that happened.
That was my favorite part of the weekend. I dug it. But I like also the comparison to WMEC Masters, because that's the best they could do with all the bullshit going around. So, bravo to them.
Sure.
I was entertained for the last 8 hours, 16 hours, whatever the hell it was, today and yesterday. Awesome.
I actually was more entertained overall for the whole show yesterday, whereas this one, the later matches, after those two dead matches before the two mains.
Sometimes in a Alistair Black shirt.
But, yeah.
One was actually a little bit better, but what did you think of Edge Orton?
I enjoyed it.
I went to go get food during the match. I had it on during my phone, but I mean, it's just
it's long, right?
I left after the match started and returned, and the match was still happening.
Right.
It was a long match.
It was.
And then they blue balled it with not going off the damn truck.
Yeah.
It was good, but I was like, I'm on the edge of my seat for you guys to go over somewhere. Onto the truck, prepping. And the dice.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, too.
And also, Edge is crying. I did not like that. Because, I saw you almost cry at Royal Rumble, so no dice. Fucking do something else.
The moment's already passed.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. That's a good point, too, because it made it look like he was crying over what he just did to a guy who, assaulted his wife. So it did come off as
well, I mean, in that case, though, I maybe one way the perception is trying to be leaned toward is that because oftentimes what happens, I don't know if you've ever been in a physical conflict to a point when you're really you give in to so much anger when you come back down, and you're shaking. I could understand how someone can tear up after that because it's almost like maybe they're trying to push that he had an out-of-body experience where he had to go to a place where he didn't want to go. He didn't enjoy being where he was at, but he had to do this to put an end to this guy. That's what I took from it. I mean, like, not that I necessarily dug it, but that's just my guess as what they were trying to go with.
I feel like this, I mean, number one, that one was a little bit long, but last man standing matches do tend to be a little bit longer. I'm surprised they didn't take the fight outside, maybe to the parking lot or something like that. They felt a little bit limited.
Maybe they filmed it during the day.
Yeah. They didn't want to give away the time it was.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point. But I mean, did you think that this, though? Because I'll be honest, this was one of the ones I enjoyed it, but Edge's first singles match back, I think that would have come off a lot better in a more traditional scenario.
Well, yeah.
Well, but hey, look, the Boneyard match, that's a lot better than if we had just gotten an in-ring match. So, you know, you can make it work. I'm surprised how positive I am after this show, considering that the empty arena stuff wasn't working for me. They made it work pretty good.
Yeah. Well, overall, the buzz online is pretty positive.
Mm-hmm.
People are going nuts over that Otis and Dolph match.
I don't get that, but okay.
I mean, like, I think more they're
Big
going nuts
one.
over the ending, but like even then, I'm just like, I mean, like of all the things, you know, like because here, okay, so as for a little build-up as Strowman and Goldberg had, right? Did you see Strowman's like reaction afterwards? Like, they didn't give him the. I mean, like, I guess because they're gonna push him as like a monster heel, and like he was kind of heelish in the match. But if you heard him, it's like he was yelling, you know, doing his typical thing, or doing the typical thing anybody would do, like, you know, and all the people that said I couldn't do it. But he had this like raw like emotion right there that didn't require a crowd. Whereas Drew McIntyre's victory, I felt, would have had a better impact with the crowd. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But
yeah. Dude, when Braun yelled
so
out,
hot.
the monster lives.
So hot.
Like, that's a new shirt.
Like, the monster lives, absolutely. And, like, I just think they cut too quick from that, and that's probably because they want to put him as a heel, and they don't want people to, like, get behind him. But I think it's going to happen regardless. Like, they're going to want to cheer. Like, it's almost like people wanted to cheer for Andre. Like, people cheered for him because they knew nobody could beat him. You know, like, he was the best. He seemed indestructible. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
they already booked him on 2-on-1 matches against a bunch of tag teams, so they already sold him like he's better than two people combined.
I was glad to see the belt taken off Goldberg, although again it kind of begs the question of why did Goldberg have to beat Fiend? You know.
Well, this wasn't the scenario they were going with. It was obviously to get it back on Roman. So,
yeah,
maybe they can salvage it with like a three-way if they bring back stupid ass Goldberg after SummerSlam.
Yeah, I really would like to see Fiend get his win back on Goldberg.
Oh, the Fiend? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about Goldberg, Reigns, and Strowman.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. I'm not as negative as on Goldberg traditionally as, you know, Todd is, but I'm really fucking tired of seeing Goldberg matches now.
I recognize he's like a big draw, but fuck that guy.
Yeah, I've never liked him.
Yeah!
He agrees?
Yeah!
I thought you're a Goldberg guy.
Are you kidding me?
I thought I heard you chanting Goldberg
That guy
all the
has
time.
fewer dimensions than Mario Brothers 1.
Am I going to have to mute you now?
That's pretty funny.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's all you could expect.
How dare you? That was improvised genius. That's why I called it Mario 1
I swear
and not
to God,
the
I'll
original Super
pistol
Mario.
the next guy that says shenanigans.
I didn't even say shenanigans.
You mean shenanigans?
It's about all you could have expected from a Goldberg match, but I have to say,
from a pre-taped Goldberg
WrestleMania,
match.
Right?
what?
Not for a pre-taped Goldberg match. They could have actually made him look like a badass, do takes
Should've
here,
brought in-
touch here.
They should have brought in John Woo and did some wire work.
I don't know if they could have got Dove that quickly.
We really didn't get like the 5-star matches we thought we might, being that they were pre-taped.
Well,
yeah, a little more out of a pre-taped Goldberg match. I mean, fuck, throw a couple moves in there, do something, tell a story. But there's no excuse as far as I'm concerned. The main event was shit. I mean, Drew, I'm so glad he's got the belt, but there's no excuses for not having a real match with Brock. I mean, those two
I'm
could have.
thinking Brock didn't work. That's what I'm thinking. Brock's like, what's the point? This is the real WrestleMania. I'll just come and collect my paycheck. This is all I'm willing to do.
The thing with Brock I always hear is he's always like, I'll do whatever you want me to do. And if that's what they wanted him to do, that's what he did. Yeah. So I don't think he's like, I'm not going to work. The biggest thing is, and I'm so glad we didn't have to deal with it all night, and this could have also affected the main event. No, you couldn't chase the pop. And that's what Drew and that would have been, especially with Drew. And there was nothing to chase. You couldn't do the near falls.
He didn't do his countdown bullshit.
Yeah, all that stuff was eliminated without a crowd. So that's what I said. I was most excited to see them not chase the pop because that shit's gotten old. So, but that also affects some matches, like the main event. That's what threw it off.
Yeah, no, definitely.
If there would have been a crowd, there would have been like 30 near falls.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Well, and I just, again, you're not wrong. It's disappointing being that those two could have really had some more interesting content than just having it be a finisher battle.
Hopefully we have SummerSlam rematches.
Yeah, well, SummerSlam, I think at this point is going to be a card full of rematches because we haven't talked too much about the undercard, but a lot of stuff felt like the start of certain things. Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, that definitely felt like not the culmination of a feud, which WrestleMania should be, but
who went over? Zayn, right?
Yeah. Zayn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Communist.
Brian's supposed to be taking time off. I know, I forgot already.
Well, he's going to get it probably at least the next month off.
Well, he's got another baby on the way. Apparently, he's the one. He's the smart one. He's quarantining. He's quarantining himself 2 weeks before he goes back to his wife and kid. So he's just going to stay in Florida and quarantine himself.
Oh.
You know what's up.
Right.
Yeah.
Kudos for coming into Mania to wrestle a undercard match then. I mean, that's a sacrifice for him. What else did you guys enjoy? I did want to say Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, I thought was remarkably good. That one was another one of the matches that made me forget I was watching Mania without a crowd.
Yeah. You see New Jack was pissed about that spot? I think he said something like that fat motherfucker trying to be me.
Well, New Jack didn't do senton, though, in fairness.
So you're going to use that as an excuse?
I'm just saying.
New Jack could have done a senton. You tell him otherwise.
I will not be saying anything to New Jack.
No, be honest.
Me? Be honest?
Just go up to New Jack.
I was talking to Dan. Like, tell us how you really feel about New Jack.
You should have heard him talking smack on the whole show. I couldn't even tag him in it after it.
Ouch.
God damn it.
That's
All the
fucked
stuff
up,
we cut, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I would not say a word to New Jack.
Because you don't want to speak to those people, Dan? Is that what's going on?
That's fucked.
You would have rubbed his arm.
That is... Oh, God damn it, Todd.
Oh, see, I know you haven't
Bullshit.
watched it yet, or you probably are going to watch it. There's a story New Jack tells when he was back in Smoky Mountain. Where
Jack.
Yeah,
He's
New
in-
Jack's on the way. Careful.
where a little white kid comes up to him and rubs his skin, and New Jack's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "My daddy says if I touch you, it'll rub off on me."
It'll turn him black. is what
And
it
it'll
says.
turn him black. So,
Wow.
Smoky Mountain.
Yes, you do have to see the promo where he does a shout out to OJ for taking out
Oh,
two
man.
white people. It was pretty epic. But yes, you can listen to that show and see the video of that show on Horror Cartel Flesh Wound Radio Facebook group.
Although you wouldn't
So,
know if you go to Dan's post because he forgot to share the link to the group.
I forgot. We'll work it out.
No, you didn't forget. You cut that shit out. But anyway.
So were there any other gems for you guys, in some of the more mid-card stuff? I actually thought Rhea and Charlotte had a really good match.
It started off
it was
pretty good.
it was too loud. I understand how
Women make
trash
noise.
talk could naturally Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan was a perfect example of how they didn't everything that they were saying seemed natural. A
Right.
lot of what I kept hearing seemed forced here, and I'm going to say this here. Nothing seemed from the moment, and then
Right.
Ripley selling the leg, I get it, but damn, ugh. I thought a dead bird was under the ring.
Well, if you think that match was loud, I want to hear your thoughts on the female tag match because I wanted to mute the fucking TV. That shit was annoying.
Oh, there was tons of come on and really. I think you could have had a drinking game for this WrestleMania for the amount of times you heard come on and drinking. Or I'm sorry, come on and really. Take a shot each time. You'll be in the hospital by the end of it. No one would survive.
Dan kept
I think-
rubbing himself when he kept saying come on.
I was going to say, I think Dan tried to tell a joke. Go ahead, Dan.
I just said Todd likes to be come on. That's all I said.
Oh.
You know something,
Well,
but that's okay.
That's a good effort. I did not. I actually stopped so you could get your joke in. I'm still trying to find you.
Funnier in the moment.
And you aren't even held back by the restraints of no profanity.
You said to change it up a little bit, Todd. No more fuck you, Todd. I have to be creative, and
Well-
you're right. So.
Well, hopefully you hit that strive eventually.
So, a question I'll pose to you all: just judging this as WrestleMania, where does it kind of rank for you guys? I mean,
I think it's
better than
impossible.
past
I think it's
Manias?
impossible to rank it against the other WrestleManias. It's such an
That's kinda
anomaly. Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
rank it against 11.
Yeah, I'll go with it was better than 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, some would even say 9, I believe. I know some other people saying they didn't hate it.
Well, I think
But-
there was a lot of forgiveness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
The
knows
grading
what
on a
the
curve.
actual Mania was going to be like?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you guys? What would you have done to handle this? Because everybody's kind of shitting on.
I wouldn't have
right
had
now.
WrestleMania.
Well, how would you have done it then? What would have been your plan?
The plan is we just call this one a wash and do it next year. Because having WrestleMania in August Doesn't make sense. And then you have another WrestleMania in 6 months. You have to.
Well, the greatest WrestleMania.
Right. That would have been a better call.
Well, you're going to have to do the matches. So you're saying you would do every match and just do it on whatever pay-per-view and just not call it Mania is what you're saying?
I would scrap the expensive ones. Why pay fucking Goldberg and fucking whoever all that money
Right.
if it's not gonna be on the biggest stage?
Answer your phone. Whoever, just answer it. I mean, like,
Not me.
I don't know what it was.
It ain't me.
Ain't me.
Todd's dialing sex hotlines in Europe right now. He's getting really bored. But
that business is booming.
Right?
But
Damn.
yeah, I mean, I had a lot of forgiveness too. It felt like everybody was working hard. Though, other than the main event, really, there was nothing I would classify as shit. I mean, there was nothing that I would look at and just think, man, this is just hard to watch. Most everything delivered.
Well, I would say that about that. There was that. What was it? The women's. The one with Bailey and Sasha.
Five-way.
Yes.
Oh, the 5-way?
Yes.
It was to be expected. It
I
wasn't
know.
going to be the match of the night. It wasn't going to be the worst, but
It was a
It could've
mess
been.
too.
you know what match I actually really liked on the kickoff? Liv and Natty. Natalia.
Yeah,
It
kickoff
was pretty
matches?
good.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, you missed that.
Holy jeez. Yeah, 2 nights of this. Yeah.
Not
All right.
enough.
Okay.
Not enough.
It is weird. Like, oh, you got to go out. I mean, a kickoff match, I guess not anymore, but the point of them used to be to sort of hype up a crowd. So I don't quite get the point of them in this situation. But yeah, no, I mean, Liv did have a nice match with Natty. I don't think she would have ever had a singles match otherwise. It kind of made me wonder where Ruby was, though, because they had a feud, and they could have at least had something with the story there.
She was probably in lockdown.
Speaking of missing wrestlers, what happened to Ricochet?
He wasn't booked. He was.
Yeah.
I mean,
That sucks. He's awesome.
last
Vince-
we saw of Ricochet, he was taking losses to Riddick Moss, so I don't think there's any big plans for Ricochet anytime soon.
But he would have been good in that tag match if they didn't want to use Austin Theory. But I guess he's not a heel, so. But I don't know.
I
I'm
was
with him.
going to ask you guys about that. What the hell? It's very I mean, I like Austin Theory. He seems like a guy who has a lot of potential for the future, but why do you put him in there? There had to be another heel.
Well, if you
on
watch
the roster.
TV, Dan, you'd know.
Yeah, that's true too. But wasn't he in a group with Sammy Guevara? So this may be their answer to the Inner Circle stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Like back in the
Dan.
day.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think
I
of
don't
that.
know. I really like his stuff in Evolve. And I mean, maybe it is the start of something. I mean, he has to be like, wow, I'm barely getting my feet wet in NXT, and now I'm on WrestleMania. That's just, yeah.
If
I mean, I like
had
Angel
him in his
Garza a
position, I
lot.
would have lost my goddamn mind. That's amazing. I'm on the biggest show
Yeah.
of the year, even though, circumstances given. It's still
Kind
a
of.
pretty big damn achievement. Well, it's still an achievement, Todd.
Mania is still Mania. I mean, it would still
Well,
mean a lot.
the Mania we're used to, but it's the Mania. At least we still had it. I'm glad we continued on with it.
I am
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
I'll
as
agree
a guy who tried to be a pro wrestler, the idea of having a match at Mania is pretty huge. The ones that I feel really terrible for are Rhea and Drew, because they were, heading towards their star-making moments, and it definitely isn't the same as it could have been. But
I don't feel bad for Reed. Drew McIntyre, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's 19 years or whatever he's been wrestling. Yeah, that's definitely not what it should have been. But I could have seen the exact same match in front of a crowd, though. I mean, you just never know with Brock. Is it going to be something worthwhile, or is it going to be the typical bullshit?
See, I don't think it's the Brock bullshit. It's the Vince bullshit. Because, again, he does what he's told.
You say that, but I think Brock can kind of do what he wants within, reason. I think that's what happened with Dean. That's the best example. I think he just thought, I don't see anything in this guy. I'm not going to have a real match with him. I can't imagine he'd feel that way about Drew, but who knows? Maybe he does. Maybe he's like, oh, well, this is just the guy that used to do the air guitar shit. I don't know.
Yeah, that would mean Brock watched when he wasn't on TV, so we know that wasn't it.
Yeah.
You may have heard through the grapevine. Do you guys think Money in the Bank is going to happen?
I think if it does, it's going to be like this.
Yeah. It'll be like a closed set scenario, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of surprised they were still hyping it, but I guess they could really hold it anywhere. They're not limited like they are in Florida right now. How long do you think the hiatus would last before they just kind of go back to doing empty arena stuff?
No clue. That's hard, dude.
I don't even know if SummerSlam's 100%.
Yeah, it is. I think things will...
Here's the thing. For something to because they're going to want to have SummerSlam. Where is SummerSlam this year? Probably in a place that's like 20,000 attendance, right? Okay.
Yeah, more than that.
25,000 people. For them to be like, for anybody to run anything in California, like the governor has already said that he doesn't expect the football season to start. Rather, the football season not be impacted because it's been said somebody had mentioned something about football season starting on time with no problem, but then the governor had mentioned something along the lines of it not being likely. So if the governor of the state where the event is being held is not even sure that events in September can take place, I mean...
Yeah, no, that's true. They may have to... I mean, my theory still is that maybe a good chunk of the rest of the year is going to be like smaller venues at some point. I mean, you're still in front of, maybe 1,000 people. I don't know, depending what they're considering.
I think the Performance Center is going to be like the new New York for a while.
You don't think they'll maybe be able to get back in Full Sail at least? I mean, it's all speculation, I guess, but I was
unless
thinking at
they
least
own the building. Because here's the thing, the AEW, where they had, so the first two shows with no crowds, that building that they were in, that's where they had the Fight for the Fallen, I think. And I think the Khans owned that building, right? Now, it was really windy that last night that they were there. So I think that's why this past week they switched into a small building. But if you think about it, how much does it take to just buy a small warehouse? Because that's what it looked like. It looked like it was in a small warehouse. So I don't think WWE can be in a place that they don't own for a while.
Yeah, it could be interesting. I mean, you're right. It would be no issue just buying some random warehouse somewhere. And I don't know, maybe it's going to be a case where some states are going to go back to normal sooner than others. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't care about crowd size. I've always said, if it's a hot crowd, I'm cool with, a Full Sail type situation. It'd just be nice to get back to working a crowd again. But I don't know. Time will tell, I guess. But I'm not expecting a regular show till at least SummerSlam. My fingers are crossed for that.
I think
yeah.
I think you should ship that to Survivor Series.
Maybe.
Well,
Well, see that.
That I think that's the first major show that we'll get that'll be back to normal. Like at this point, I think that's the best shot where things will most feel like back to normal.
I
Have a
honestly,
second round of it too, though.
I honestly think this year's a wash. I really do. I think whatever plans you had for the rest of the year, just get used to it not being what you expected. I think if we're lucky, you start out next year Rumble, and there you go.
You could be right. Yeah, I mean, it'll just depend. Because, I mean, you could have, hopefully we're a little bit better set up for it, but you could have a second round of this shit, too. So, you know, hopefully that's not a second round of having to close up businesses, but, yeah, live events could be the thing that takes the longest to come back. That could be till next year. You're definitely right, but I hope not, God damn it.
I know. Calm down, because it's all about Dan.
Small crowds, come on. Baby steps. But yeah, all things considered, it wasn't a shit show as a whole. It was really entertaining. So yes. If you guys haven't watched it yet, you should. I think it's
You've
worth.
been
I think it's
spoiled.
worth a watch. Some people do that. Some people only listen to the podcast.
No. Well, I mean, like, you know, if in theory somebody's been listening this entire time, and you say, if you haven't seen it, go watch it, even though you know everything that's going to happen.
Yes. It's still worth it. So yeah, any closing thoughts, guys?
No,
I think they should go on a hiatus.
I do too.
Because, like, what
I
I
don't
mean,
mind.
you can't.
Did they announce
you
how many
can't-
shows they have in the bank?
They
No,
they already announced Raw, SmackDown happening live. They already announced Money in the Bank. Like, they just need to, like,
Stop.
you can't keep doing that, like, for months. You know what? Like,
Yeah,
I think somebody's going to get sick eventually, and then it's going to force them to shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, because I know Raw.
Like, I don't know where Cien
NXT
Almas was. Like, maybe he does have a rib injury. Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah, and the word is they're not letting any of their people say they have it.
See, there you go. So,
I have to ask an interesting question because it would
Please
seem
finally do.
that fuck you guys. It would seem very likely that a lot of wrestlers would have this because it's a unique job and you're certainly, you know, close quarters, potentially, you know, spitting on somebody, whatever. It doesn't seem like a lot do, though. We know of one person I know from Cali, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to name names, but other than that, I don't know of anybody that actually has this, which is weird. Personally, I mean.
I know a couple of people.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would think there'd be more in the wrestling world. But,
There'd be more what?
More in the wrestling world.
More in the wrestling world.
We don't know because, like I said.
And then some people are asymptomatic, so we can't even tell. And they don't even
Yeah,
know.
there's like not even enough tests. I mean, but yet they're wasting them on fucking tigers. I'm just saying.
I heard some of that's already been debunked, though, because people are saying animals can't get it, and I don't know. That seems like...
People say a lot of shit.
That's right.
Yeah. But, yeah, all things considered, at least so I'm happy with the title changes for sure. So,
I wish Shayna would have won.
I think Vince lost faith in her, though.
Yeah. How are you going to beat fucking 5 other bitches and not beat the man? Like,
yeah. Maybe that's the one he didn't want to waste.
Yeah. That one, I just...
Oh, shit! Check this out. Okay.
Okay, Ozzy.
He wants to keep his titles on international superstars because they will more likely lift their restrictions sooner than the United States will.
Interesting. I'm not just... Everyone's so talkative tonight.
I'm processing.
You think, I mean, what are you saying? You think that Becky's a U.S. citizen, I believe, now, so Drew.
But she's the Irish last picker. Like, come on. Like, she gets a bigger pop in Dublin, Ireland than anywhere else. Drew McIntyre is going to get a bigger pop in Scotland than anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, are you trying to say you think, like, a bunch of the shows back are going to be overseas, or?
If their bans are lifted
if
first.
Braun Strowman is pretty marketable to someone who doesn't know wrestling but would be interested in going to a show.
That's true. He's definitely a special draw, I guess. But no, that could be interesting.
Flair being the champion again, like being NXT champion, like it's just like it seems like Drew's the only new guy to have gotten a major push out of this WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, no.
Like in terms of guys, taking that next level, or people, or men or women taking that next level. It was just Drew. When it could have been Drew, it could have been Shayna. It could have been. Well, I only say Lacey Evans, but not specifically that particular wrestler, because I don't think that would have been great for things. But you know what I mean? Like, because usually WrestleMania is a time when a lot of people level up. Drew, for lack of a better term, Drew seemed like the only guy to level up.
Yeah, no. I think Shayna was probably planned. She had that weak performance at Survivor Series, and then, even the Chamber, she didn't quite look as... I mean, she dominated, but she didn't quite look like the beast that I think she should have looked like. I think that was just the last minute.
Wait a second. So was the spot of her biting the back of Lynch's neck before or after the Elimination Chamber?
Before. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think Vince looked at her and thought, well, she can't get it done in the ring, and because look at how long Becky's been champion now. Who takes that belt off her anytime soon? I mean, it's hard to picture. I mean, again, unless you just keep going back to the well with the same few girls, it kind of seems like a no-brainer to me that Shayna should start her long heel run as champion. But I don't know. Maybe they'll go back to it later, but it sure seems to me like Vince just kind of gave up on Shayna, which is too bad because she's legit. She can be pretty scary. I don't know. Maybe she needs a mouthpiece. Maybe she needs to bring the horsewomen in, give her a little something extra. But
they're not ready.
They're not, but they could be corner people.
The horsewoman is not the answer. Because that's just gonna get her over with the marks that are already. Dan, yeah.
Wait a second. What if like there's something that's set up where Shayna has Ronda as her trainer? Ronda says, I can't do this anymore. I want to focus on my family, but I want to see you take the belt off of Becky Lynch, because Ronda was the last champion before Becky, so it'd be appropriate for Ronda to train Shayna, and then Shayna take the title away from Becky without making Becky seem that like she's lost a step. because really this took extra preparation from the last person she took the title from, in addition to an opponent that can bell to bell, that can go bell to bell with her, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's
It does.
interesting that you bring that up, because do you think there was any chance that Ronda was in the cards for Mania and pulled out? Because if people don't realize, Ronda and her husband are actually big into the Doomsday Prepper stuff. So I have a feeling she's on lockdown, like serious lockdown on her ranch.
Right.
I thought about that. Maybe a triple threat scenario might have been in the cards, and they just didn't go through with it.
Maybe.
Anything's possible.
Yeah, it seemed, I don't know, that seemed like something that they might have been considering.
That would have been the
at
second
this
year in a
point,
row featuring a triple threat match for the women's title.
It would have been, but
Yeah.
if that's how they got to get Ronda in, I think they would have done it.
No, yeah, they would have definitely done it if they could have.
Yeah, just to get Ronda. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with it in this sort of off period. I hope at the very least on the network they can, I don't know, get to work on some good shoot interview type stuff, which we haven't had a lot of lately. I'd like some more regular tell-all interviews in this off time, especially if some pay-per-views are just not going to happen, or I don't know what they're going to do. But what would you guys like to see on the network at this point so that people don't cancel their subscriptions?
I don't know what else they can offer.
Yeah.
What could you produce at this point when everybody's under lockdown?
Yeah, but you can still do the podcast stuff. I mean, that you can do from your house.
Yeah, again, you're just trying to satisfy the people that are already going to be satisfied with being able to watch wrestling. Fucking podcast is not going to draw the people, the average fan. It's going to draw the inside
You gotta have some
familiarity.
canceling. Will it stop them from canceling is the question.
Yeah.
Not with all the podcast options they have. I don't think that well.
Okay.
You know
I
what?
don't know.
Actually, for me, you know what actually would keep me interested in the network, and they might as well invest their time in this, because I felt this from the very beginning. When you are watching, like, let's say, an old school Raw from like '97 or '98, and you see a segment.
Oh yeah.
Let's go '99, and you see a segment between Kane and X-Pac, right? But then the next segment happens, and it's Val Venus. You don't give a shit. You want to see more of this Kane and X-Pac whole like trajectory storyline. They need to figure out a way, like similar how when you finish a YouTube video, there's 2 videos that come up as suggestions. There needs to be a video that comes up and be like, watch the next segment that came after this featuring Kane and X-Pac, or watch the most recent segment that came after this, or that most recent segment that was right before this featuring Kane and X-Pac. Basically, you could track everybody's storyline through the network.
Yeah.
If they found a way to do that, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like, think about like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Like, that would be so much fun to go through.
Yeah. No, I totally agree on that.
You could even do, you know how they used to have like the specials for Coliseum Video where they just had, a bunch of taped matches they just threw together? You could do themed, like actual specials, like the big men, the technical, the submission specialists or whatever. And it, like, that stuff you could also do within the network, and that's something could do from their home if they just have access to the library. Because basically I think the problem with the network right now is that it's somewhat overwhelming. That, like, wow, all this stuff is available. Where do I start? Now, if I could just go back to Living Dangerously 2000 and, find Rhino winning the TV title and just go from there, oh, my God, like 100%. You know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't be down for that?
No, definitely. That's actually a good idea. I was trying to think what they own at this point that they haven't really put up retro-wise. I mean, there's still quite a bit that they could potentially do. I'm going to say good time to buy XPW's library. I'm just saying they should get in on that. But anyways, we'll have another show, I'm sure. I know we're going to be struggling on Squared Circle Society, but I know we're going to have more retro episodes.
If Dan would watch some goddamn wrestling other than WrestleMania, watch some AEW, we could actually talk about it.
I'm back into it now. I said I was restarting with Mania. So, yeah.
You can just start watching too, Ozzy?
So he's back?
Excuse me?
I don't know. What, Dan, you want to hear your favorite clip?
Absolutely.
Really?
But we will have Dark we'll have Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Hey, Dan, what's your favorite label?
Dan's favorite clip.
Okay.
Fuck you, Todd. But we are going to have some Dark Side of... What's the Dark Side of the Ring?
We're coming for you, nigga!
That is Dan's favorite.
That is his favorite.
We're coming for you!
Nigger.
There it is.
It was vinegar.
Oh, man.
You know, it's so much better because you don't know which version you're getting.
Vinegar.
And every time you do it, it's funny.
We're coming for you!
Nigger.
I'm not
supposed
to be here today. Hey, that was unnecessary. That was unnecessary.
So what's next on Dark Side of the Ring?
The Brawl for All. I cannot wait to talk about that.
Okay, so we will. I think we will have episodes probably on every one. I know. I'm looking forward to the Dino Bravo one too. I haven't really looked into that whole case in a while. I think I forgot a lot of details. So yeah, we'll have that, and we'll be covering.
Maybe Ozzy will come on for the Brawl for All. You want to talk Brawl for All, Ozzy?
Maybe.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Interesting story. So anyways, it's been a great show, guys, and we will be sure to check out FleshWoundFeatures.com, check out the Flesh Wound Dan eBay, and join Horror Cartel, the Horror Cartel Flesh Wound Radio group, like the Flesh Wound Features Facebook page, and
Wednesday we'll have an all-new Flesh Wound Radio, and this will be another test video and blog talk show. So you can watch us again.
Yes, you can watch us exclusively as of now on the Horror Cartel Flesh Wound Radio Facebook page. So if you haven't joined that, you will have several video options in the coming month or two. So.
We would have done video tonight, but Ozzy vetoed it. He didn't have his hair done right.
What are you talking about?
You said you had to comb. You had to get your hair. You know, you've been in lockdown. You haven't been able to get your hair did.
Okay, well, that's true. I never said that.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. Is that the death of Dick Long clip?
What?
Is that a death of Dick Long clip?
No, it was not, but sure. Okay. We're trying to check out. Ozzy, you want to sign us out?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Squared Circle Society.
Good night.